Hey everybody, my name's Bill Bailey. I'm one of the owners of Dirk's Plumbing Supply, and today in this segment we're going to talk about hooking up your sprinkling system to a secondary water system. Here in Utah there's two types of water that we have. We have culinary water, which is your drinking water, and that's hooking into your line that's going to your house. To provide your water that you use in your house, and in a culinary system you hook on that, come off, send the water to your valves and your sprinklers. Most of what's here in this area is called secondary water, and that's basically pressurized irrigation water that's stubbed in with separate piping, and it's not drinkable, and it's just used for irrigation. And that's what we're going to talk about in this segment, is how you hook that up. The basic setup is going to look like this. You'll have a main shutoff valve. This is what will turn your water on and off for your whole sprinkling system. Then you'll have a filter. And the reason you need a filter is because this is basically just ditch water that is pressurized with pumps. And if you don't have a filter, it'll plug up your heads and cause your valves to stick open. And so that's why we have a filter. Now these filters come in different sizes. This is the normal one that we sell. It's a 32 mesh. You can get other mesh sizes depending on how dirty your water is or how clean it is, but the basic one we sell would be this one. Most secondary, the secondary water companies will stub the water into the lot and bring it up to about 12 inches underground is all, because it gets drained in the wintertime, so there's no need to have it deeper. So your hookup, there's several ways that they do it. One of the ways is they will just stub in pipe that's called copper tube size poly. It's either blue like this, or a lot of times it's purple to signify that it's non-drinking water. And the difference between this and regular poly is this uses fittings that go on the outside of the pipe, whereas most insert fittings go on the inside of the pipe. So the one connection a lot of times you'll have to make is to this copper tube size poly, and to do that you have a compression fitting like this. This one is a Filmac brand. That's the one that we normally sell. And with the copper tube size, you need a stainless steel stiffener, and this will go on the inside of the pipe. So you just push that all the way in, and then the pipe will go inside the fitting with the stiffener in there, push it all the way to the stop, and then you will get a couple wrenches and tighten that all the way till these two pieces touch, and then that's the right amount of tightness. And so if that's how it is, if you just have a piece of purple or blue pipe sticking out, you'll use this fitting to either convert it to poly, the black poly, or you can screw this fitting right into your valve. Now some places in some cities, they will bring the pipe in and already give you a valve like this, which is either a ball valve like this or a gate valve. And so you'll just have a valve just sitting there. If that's the case, then you're just going to need this part of the setup, just like that, and then you will screw this into there and put this whole thing together. A lot of them are like that. If not, then you're going to be using what we showed you, convert it to poly, run the poly to where you want to put the box. Now if you do need the valve, anything with threads on here, you are going to need to put Teflon tape, which you can get in 1/2 inch or 3/4 size, or Teflon paste, which would look like this, and put those on the threads. And then you need to get a couple wrenches and tighten these up here, here, and also here on these threads. The other two fittings are glue-in fittings. So basically you're going to take primer and glue and glue this in to convert it to thread. And then if you're going to poly, you will glue this side in. It's just a slip fitting. You'll just put your glue and your primer on it. And we have another segment that you can watch that shows you how to glue fittings. But anyway, you'll glue it there, have this all threaded, and then this will sit down in a valve box. So if you're using this size of a filter, you can use this, which is called a standard valve box or a regular valve box. And this will go over the filter, and what you want to do is have it sit lengthwise in there, kind of like that. so that you've got room to take the filter out. Because if you put it the other way, then you won't have room to get this out. So when you need to clean this filter, this just has to be hand tight. You undo this nut, and then you can pull this canister off. There's just an O-ring in there, and that's what keeps it sealed. And then there's a second O-ring right here, and that is what seals it in there. So you can take this screen out, take it over to the hose, a brush, wash it off, do whatever you need to, and put it back in. So this is completely reusable. You don't generally have to replace those unless it rips or breaks or something. One thing to note, the filter is directional. So if you look at the bottom of this, it says flow and has an arrow. Make sure that's the direction that your water is going, because if not, the water will go on the inside of the screen and then exit, and then everything gets stuck on the inside and it's hard to clean. If you go the right way, it enters the canister, goes through the screen this way, and everything's on the outside. So it'll still filter the other way, just is harder to clean because you can't get inside there. This hose bib that's on here, we put that on there. You can use it as a drain, but it also has a good use for cleaning the filter because you can shut your ball valve off, open this up, and that relieves some of the water pressure to be able to get this off. So that'll be your setup, and that just goes right out where your water first comes into your yard, and then you'll run poly or PVC. If you're running PVC, you can just glue the PVC right into here. If you're running poly, that's where you'd use this fitting. On Mainline, we recommend doing 2 clamps. And we also have another segment on how to put poly fittings together. So if you don't know that, you can watch that. But basically, that's what you need to know. If you have any other questions, feel free to call us or come down to one of our stores and we can help you out.